Hello, and welcome in, everyone. My name is Voodoo Val, and I am going to be hosting the wonderful Phoebe Sherman this morning. I'm very excited to dive into all of the wonderful things that we have planned for this segment. But first, before we dive into some work, Phoebe, how are you doing this morning?
I'm great. How about you?
I'm doing excellent. I would love if you want to take some time to just introduce yourself to our audience, let us know who you are, what you're all about, and then give us the scoop on what we're going to be diving into for today.
Yeah, hi. Thanks for having me, Adobe. Thanks for being here, Val. I'm Phoebe. I'm the founder of Girl Gang Craft, and I have some slides to share with you a little bit about me. I'm currently in Salem, Massachusetts, but I spent most of my life in the SF Bay Area.
Okay.
Yeah, so close to you.
Yep.
Um, I'm the founder of Girl Gang Craft. We are a femme-forward community for creative entrepreneurs. We have a podcast, we have classes and courses, we have a membership, and we host craft fairs. So we host craft fairs in Salem, Massachusetts, and in Oakland, California.
Awesome.
So if you're a maker who's listening, we do have craft fairs and we would love to invite you to apply too. So we have spring craft fairs and holiday craft fairs. And in 2016, so I started my feminist apparel line. I was a maker as well. My background is in printmaking and my degree is in printmaking and also feminist studies. So after my apparel line started, this is around the 2016 election, I was trying to sell my work as a maker in the craft fair community in San Francisco and really found it to be expensive and exclusive. Some of those events are like $800 to participate in, and that's just not feasible as a beginning artist at all.
Yeah.
So, and I wasn't always getting into some of these more polished events. As a beginning artist too, they were looking for a certain style and, I wasn't it or my branding wasn't there yet. So I wanted to start my own show. So I gathered 15 of my maker friends who I had sort of met in the craft fair world and gathered these folks in a small cafe, and we had the first Girl Gang Craft.
Oh, that's so cool. You guys just went in and created for yourself what you needed. That's so awesome.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, and it was really successful and really fun. It felt the energy in that room was really just magnetic and exciting. And not only were people making sales, but they were also connecting with the other creatives there.
Yeah.
And so we did it again and again. And so now we have these big craft fairs with like 120 makers and vendors. We also have service-based people as well in Oakland, California. And then, fast forward to the pandemic, we didn't have craft fairs. That was really hard on me personally, my business, and, everyone, but also the people, the makers and the creatives who are really counting on in-person events because people do a lot of sales there. And maybe their sales aren't as strong online. We're going to help you with that today, though.
Yes, I'm excited. I personally, I table at a lot of conventions and stuff. So I really understand what you meant about, the pandemic really transforming the entire lay of the land as far as people who, make part or all, in some cases, of their living going around to events like this and doing that. So I'm pumped to see what comes next. So I love your images here with your branding and everything. Tell us more.
Thank you. Yeah. So during the pandemic, right, we weren't able to have these events, and we really wanted to support our community with the skill sets and the community and the connections they needed to make these sales online. So we started online classes and we started our podcast and really sort of cultivated this community and empowering femme-forward creatives to make money online, to quit their day jobs, to support themselves, to make their own rules. And then in, I guess, a year and a half ago-ish, we moved to the other side of the country, to Salem, Massachusetts, and expanding our business over here and helping the New England community as well, both in person and online.
I love it. I love this so much. And I think that, as somebody who has gone to events like this and all of that, it can be really daunting. Like, how am I going to make sales online? How am I going to do this? And I think that a big part of that is your presence, right? Your branding is making the community, showing them that you are a business that they can come and shop from and learn from and stuff. And that can be daunting when you're not used to having a presence like that online. So how do we do that? How do we make that happen?
Well, I'm backing up for a second here, and I just want to say that I've been an Adobe Express ambassador since 2020 when it was called Adobe Spark.
Nice.
So so I've been here from the beginning, and I'm really excited. I just love the Adobe community. You all, people who work here and people who show up, everyone's just excited to create, and it's such a good energy. And as artists, I feel supported in the Adobe community, financially and with education and all of these amazing things. So Adobe Express is a really amazing thing to start to dive into your branding. So today we're going to talk about creating informative carousels, and I'll tell you why that's important in a second. And then if you want to come back tomorrow, we're going to be back here again talking about eye-catching and easy to navigate reel covers. And both of these are Instagram focused. There's definitely some crossover. I'm a big believer in repurposing content across platforms, but these are a little bit both more Instagram focused.
Awesome. Okay, let's go for it. I have some questions of my own that I definitely want to ask you today, but I see so many familiar faces in the chat. Like Gus Martin is here, Cody's here, Barbara is here, CJ is here, Fabio is here. It's good to see all of you folks. If you have any questions for us today, or think of something as we get into our process, please put them in the chat. I would love to hear from you and forward your questions to Phoebe. Maybe get some advice going for you guys, maybe help you solve some of your social media branding obstacles you may be facing. Sean, welcome in. It's good to see you. So yeah, feel free to post any questions. We are here to help, and I'm pumped.
And I'm here to say that I love social media. I'm a big social media person. My business would not exist if Instagram wasn't what it was today. And if I didn't find so much joy from social media. I also think and acknowledge there's a dark side to social media for, literally all of the reasons. But I think one of the most important things is comparison. And we really want to have these strategies and know these skills so we can sort of stay in aligned with our goal without letting the other noise come in and make us feel bad about ourselves. And it's unavoidable. We're human, and we're gonna step into these little traps. But I think it's really important to try your best to have a healthy relationship with social media and have a strategy for social media so you can sort of burn and churn and not care so much about the metrics. So I just wanted to acknowledge that.
No, I love that you point that out, because I think that is something that a lot of us kind of deal with when it comes to especially beginning your brand on social media, right? And taking that plunge and trying to show who you are. And it can be difficult, but I feel like a lot of times when I learn about it, I learn about this is what's going to be great and awesome. And then I feel like I need help with some of the more difficult points. So I love that you acknowledge that. I think that's very authentic and awesome. And if you have any advice for us along those lines of how to deal with, getting into the groove of being confident about your brand too, I think that would be great and help a lot of folks.
Yeah. I mean, it might not ever happen. Also, my dog's right here too. So if you see me feeding treats off the screen, that's what's happening.
Oh, we love doggos here on Adobe Live and the Adobe Express YouTube. So that is A-okay with us.
I love it. So I just wanted to offer too, if you like what I'm talking about, and if you're interested in diving in more, I am teaching a Reels and TikTok class tonight. So if you are interested in learning about video content, which is very, very powerful, then you can sign up on this link, and I think they're going to drop it in the chat. And that's tonight.
Awesome.
So, and you can feel free to ask me any questions about that too. But let's get started. Let's talk about the power of carousels. So I'm going to talk about the power of video in my class later tonight, but I do think carousels are very potent and a great form of content. And even TikTok just brought back carousels or brought in carousels. So there's value here. And that's what we're going to start talking about. What value are you offering your community? So let's take like a purse brand. Okay. Let's say you make like a dead stock, leather, high level designer purse situation. Okay. Are you just posting this purse over and over again? And then taking a step back from a consumer, do you just want to see pictures of these purses over and over again? Maybe, but maybe there could be more value surrounding sustainable leather practices. What is dead stock fabric? Why are your purses the cost that they are? Why are they priced how they are? How many pockets do they have? What can you put in all the pockets? I need to know
about the pockets. Yes, I know. I always need to know about the pockets. But I see what you're saying. Like, why should I look at your purses over other purses, and what is special about them, and what, interesting nuggets of information can you present in a valuable way to your audience that's not just like, here's a picture of a purse and we might show it again at some point, but just here's visual content with no substance to it.
Yes. Yeah, 100%. So you want to think about what are you offering your people besides the product? Why should people keep returning to your page? And you can start positioning yourself as an expert in your niche. So maybe you become, you're posting about these leather purses. You're talking about dead stock. You're talking about sustainable practices. You're talking about fast fashion. Maybe you're positioning yourself as an expert in this eco-green fashion space. And you're going to get a lot more opportunity there, a lot more sales there, because people are going to trust your product. I also think personal brands are the most potent brands on the internet right now. That's another topic. But you might even get speaking requests, right, to talk about sustainable fashion. Like there's all these different things that can come out of this, besides sales even. So, and it's going to keep people coming back. So I think carousels are a really good way to do this. Also video, but we're talking about carousels today. And carousels are really cool algorithm-wise on Instagram. I'm saying that they beat the algorithm for two reasons. Number one, people spend longer on the post reading the info, right? Like thinking about your phone, you're scrolling through, you're reading what each thing says on the carousel. You're pausing there for a second, or a few seconds longer than you would like for a static post, right? And there could be up to 10 infographics, 10 static images. So that's number one, how it beats the algorithm. Number two is that the algorithm actually shows the second slide in the carousel to viewers in their feed if they haven't scrolled through the post.
Yeah.
So you actually get two chances for the carousel to be seen. And like, I don't know why they created that rule. I don't know what the mind is, but like, that's cool. Let's take advantage of it. So it's really important too that your first and your second slide on your carousels are both potent and like could sort of stand alone. But you want them to entice those. You want those to be the strongest.
That's a really great point, because if people are going to be, because maybe they follow a lot of people and maybe they scroll through tons of content every day. And if you get those two choices, then those two posts being, like you said, really potent, I think is a fabulous word for that, being like something really powerful that can grab attention, because those are your two best tries, aside from people like coming to your profile. that would make sense to formulate your carousel in a way that has that like front heavy, you know, powerful information and like excellent branding right there that jumps out at your following or out at your viewers. That's a great point. I'm taking notes, by the way.
Okay, love it. So let's hop into Adobe Express. Adobe Express is really powerful for these carousels. My favorite reason is because now we have multi-pages. So you can just like seriously copy the situation, your branding over and over again, and just fix the text. So we're going to make a carousel today. And there, you could choose different sizes. You could choose the typical square size, but I suggest doing, so to do us, let's start that over. So you all know how to do it. So we're going to go to custom size. Okay. And then we're going to go to social post. And instead of doing the 1080 by 1080 pixels, we're going to go Instagram portrait.
Okay.
Now, a couple things about that. Know that on your feed, it's only going to show the square.
Yeah. How does that crop? You know, that's my wonder is like, does it show the top or the bottom or the middle?
Yeah. So on the screen, when you're scrolling on the home screen, you're going to see the whole thing. That's going to all show up in your feed.
Okay.
But on your like profile page, it's just going to show the square. Okay. So, you know, you could literally make a square if you wanted to make sure that you're keeping everything in line. I eyeball it. Just make sure that you center everything.
Gotcha.
And like this can be dead space, but why I pick this one is because it's going to take up more of the screen. So it's more impactful. Because you're vertical, right? So same with reels, right? The whole story size or reel size is going to take up a lot of the screen. And so that can just be more impactful than a tiny little graphic.
All right. Also, quick reminder, folks, definitely share any questions you have with us if you're curious about anything. And we've got maybe about 10 minutes, just a heads up. And then again, if you are enjoying hanging out with us this morning, we will be back tomorrow with even more awesome information and pro tips for Adobe Express. So definitely stay tuned and come hang out with us tomorrow. But yeah, so you're talking about, you know, screen real estate, I suppose, and making those impactful posts with something other than a square, which I will have to try this because I usually always go for the square. So this is an interesting thing maybe to experiment with for myself too.
Yeah, totally. I think it can be really important. I'm going to just make my screen a little bit smaller so we can see all the things. So if you are a premium member, you can store all your colors in here. So we have our GGC colors already plugged in. So I'm going to edit the background to start. It's a good place to start. We're going to choose a solid color and we have our colors all right here. I like this cream color. I think it's like nice and plain, but has a little bit more excitement than just a white. Yeah. So going with some color, we are going to, our subject today is different kinds of reels you can make.
I love that green with the cream too.
Yeah.
It's very, I mean, even though it's like a bright color and like a very dark color, it also seems warm in a way.
I am going to change it.
That's all right. That's okay.
So, but I'm going to just write our text here so we know what's happening first. And then we're going to add some design assets. And since we're talking about video, we're going to see what they've got here for film. Okay, so under the design assets, I've just typed in film and they have all sorts of fun things that you can plug and play, like your own photos in here. So look at all the Polaroids. Those are super fun. I'm going to go with, let's take this little group. And so sometimes these little groups are, so you can ungroup them or you can group them. So I'm going to just take off this top layer though and replace with my own photo.
Nice.
This is my own personal branding. And I've actually uploaded some of my photos. Those are my initials, PBS pics, in my library. So that's a really good way to, if you all like work with a lot of the same photos over and over again, or like your product photos or like pictures of you, that's a really good place to upload them. And
Awesome,
so
yeah.
I'm just going to replace, and then we have my little photo, and we're going to just hide it behind this little film. And then I'm going to highlight the whole thing and just place it back over here. And
Love
then I'm going
it.
to group all of that. We like to make things easier for ourselves. So I'm just going to do like this. And then I think we need like another fun little film situation. So I think that's good. And we have the layer capability to move this thing back because I want this one in front. But first let's add in our photos behind that. So you can go to photos. I think you can actually just click to library and add this on here. Yeah, let's do that. So this, I'm going to make it a little bit bigger. And then which one did we not use? I'm actually going to switch this. I'm going to do this one here. We're going to ungroup this. I know now we're making it complicated. Ungroup. We're going to move this.
No, that's okay though, because
here.
it's great. Even if you need to change things, I feel like it's helpful for me and certainly everyone in the chat to like see you experiment with stuff.
Okay. Great.
You know, and put stuff in and change your mind and find something that you like better. I think that's very valuable. But we do have maybe 5 minutes.
Right.
I see that Sean has popped in and Khaled has popped in. It's good to see all of you folks. Welcome in, Robert. Good to see you this morning.
I just want to bring out the layering tool, which is really important. So you can play with where things are on your space.
I have a question about like the philosophy of how you present your information in the carousel post. And this is something that I'm working on myself, where I sat down recently and I thought I want to create a carousel post because it's not something I usually do. And I wondered, am I supposed to create nice looking posts that say all of the information I want to say? Or should I put most of the information in the description? Do people read the descriptions, or do I need to balance and have like half info in description, half in the images? Or should it be focused, like where all of the text and things I want to say are like in the carousel images I post? I was really confused about that, and I don't have a lot of experience with it, so maybe you can offer some insight.
Yeah, I think that's a great question. And I think like most of social media, it's really a trial and error. So you can see what your audience responds to. I'm just going to make a quick note that I'm going to start a new page.
Oh yeah.
To let's just copy this to make the second thing in the carousel. And I'm going to delete all of this. I'm going to keep some elements the same. But yeah, so I think there's like, I mean, I don't think you should write an essay on each thing, but I mean, maybe if it's like one phrase, I think less is more.
Okay.
But also you want to keep people on your content as long as possible. So I think it's a balance. So like for here, I'm going to write, okay, the different types of video content. So we're talking about like trending audio with clips. And then I'm going to add like the descripting text underneath it. So I'm going to add text again, and I'm going to say, use the like save your sounds, extract, screen record the video, extract audio, add clip. So this is like a little bit more than I would say normally, but I think because it's so And I would do that probably in different text boxes, so you can have it be like in a bullet list.
Yeah,
But
for
I would
sure.
say if it's like bite-sized pieces of information, I think it's okay to all include. Like I wouldn't do more than this.
All right. So something that's easy to digest, doesn't make your audience feel like they have homework or like they're like you said,
Totally.
reading an essay, I think is a good rule of thumb. I will definitely apply that in my own stuff, and I hope that that helps you folks. We are coming to the end of our stream though, so maybe we can wrap up pretty soon. This is all looking so great. I feel like you've shared so much really great pro tips for how to approach not just how to design, but like the philosophy of, you know, connecting with your audience. We do have another episode coming up tomorrow, which I hope you folks will join us for. It's going to be a blast. Keep in mind that Phoebe is teaching a wonderful class this evening on reels, like a reel workshop, you said. So definitely check that out. And in our last few moments here, Phoebe, do you have any parting words of wisdom or tips or anything you'd like to share with the community before we take off?
Yeah. So I am teaching that Reels class tonight. So if you want to join, go ahead and sign up today in the next few hours so we can get you that information. And make sure to follow me personally at Phoebe Sherman on Instagram, and then at Girl Gang Craft is our business. And my parting wisdom is be nice to yourself. Please try and be compassionate with yourself. I have three things, I guess. Don't over obsess with metrics, but look at your metrics. See what your community is resonating with. And the third is try not to take it too seriously. And I know that's hard when we're trying to make our money from social media. But trial and error, like just keep trying, just keep posting, trying new things, seeing what works for your community, seeing what works for you, right? Don't keep making content that you hate. Like make content that you like.
Get passionate.
Yes. And just take note of what is working for your community, what is getting, engagement, what is getting seen.
Very well said. Thank you so much, Phoebe. I love the parting wisdom. Thank you, everyone who's watched, and we will see you tomorrow morning for another dive into Adobe Express.
See you tomorrow.
Bye.